Okay, I decided I'm not gonna be complaining anymore about having no views because it's at this point, if there's people like watching this, then I kind of owe it to you to access my channel through other people's devices, and I keep forgetting to do it. So that's my lack of investigatory motive and drive or whatever. And so, as far as like, pointing a finger at YouTube and everything, I'm gonna take a break from that right now because I haven't been willing to do that, and so this channel has been getting neglected. Um, I have to. I can't leave a like because that's recommending somebody for my channel, and I don't rock like that. As actually, whenever I don't watch any of the videos that are recommended for me, because it's like taking one step back, you know. The only reason they recommended it for me is because of what I've looked into already. So if they recommend something, it's like kind of like, you know, suggesting that there are as a lack of things for me to be interested in, and I've made that mistake before and didn't feel like a great person, because I was down on myself because there was nothing I could do, like as far as get into, you know. And I got this other problem of the fact that I already know how to fish farm and grow my own crops. So it's like, if there's this thing, okay, it's not gonna change because I pointed out, you know. And most people, it won't phase them because they don't want to do that anyway, which is um, find off the grid land for to exploit for primitive technology and bushcraft. And the thing is, like, you know, you're being taxed. Taxation is legalized theft. It also just, I mean, what is the other application of the word tax in the lexicon? When it to tax is to take energy, you know. Um, take energy. Like, to respect me, you would have to eat me. You'd have to be a bear, like a polar bear. You know, if you're gonna take my energy and not even consume my flesh, like what the fuck? You're disrespectful. You know. But anyways, like I know that sounds absurd. But it is. Um, no, like uh, to have some air of legitimacy, you should not say for the reasons that a person could get injured and they wouldn't have access to medical facilities when there are people who are living in noisy, you know, light filled streets, all night long, with junkies and prostitution and, you know, basically it's it's like it should drive you away from it. And if you're not here to develop uh, technology for the infrastructure for Silicon Valley, if you're not doing something in the city, then you wouldn't want to stay here. But in order to be the natural living man and rendered by the land, um, uh, and live off the grid, just live off the earth, you have to become like a technician or some, like, cause there's that in between you and there, there's no place for it. They're not having it. Not to say that, you know, um, not to say what, I don't know. What am I not trying to say? Good point. Yeah, knock it off. Just knock it off. So yeah, I mean, it's wrong. It's gonna continue. I mean, what the fuck. You must overcome and like shake busters. You know, like there's people. Their energy is to just not let you have something because they've already agreed. They've already signed in. They've already like what's it called? Made a pact to misrepresent you. Like it's easier if they don't have to change their story. And I know it's like it's fucking it doesn't make no sense because look, if if I succeed, if I win, everybody else wins. You know, unless you're somebody that you got to keep an eye on constantly. Well, then I guess that we're just giving them bitches choices, and you do have to protect your possessions with your person, which the spirit is locked away in the body. So it's, your it's your life that you're protecting, your what you've built up. Um, I mean, and, until we can figure out something with the AI or something like that, which might actually be possible. Um, I don't want to get too much into that right now. I was really hitting some good points in and around that kind of speculation earlier, but sometimes the energy isn't there. You can't just like tap back into the same shit because it's like those words have a charge, and you can rely on those words until so long, then they don't have any energy. They have no substantial charge to prove that you can reflect it with given the fluid nature of truth. And so earlier I was postulating, like there's just no way that the entire population of the people that use the internet could just get together hand in hand in solidarity and say we don't like what you're saying on your channel, so therefore we will not give you clicks. Like we have the cohesion and the collective will to not um, click on your videos. It's like I know what I mean. I know what it started out as. It's like, what, this is the way that we handle people that speak freely, that aren't encoded behind a symbol in a pact. You know, like to flex duality. To push duality, to pump the fear and toe a uh, a narrative, right? Um, and I was like, so I mean, they will be like, we don't like, people just don't like that. People just don't like you, and they stopped texting me after that didn't work. They don't know. Nobody texts me, nobody. It's important for you to know that because this is my science project. Um, they tried to say people don't like it. People get mad when you clickbait, but then I was just like, well, a lot of people don't care if they get clickbaited and they move on. I know I've never gotten mad about being clickbaited before. I get mad when people dabble. If they know better, if they know more, and they decide to dabble, I don't like that at all. And, it feels like the momentum is just panning. It's just petering out, and this person is just standing there, fucking acting coy. Consternation. Sometimes false consternation in the for the for the very, with the right ingredient, the right situation, and the right person. I should say the wrong person, actually. Um, a person considered reputable who they're considered reputable because they um, have mastered lying. Like they you can rely on them to never give you to never give you a bit of truth that they're holding back on. It's called lie through omission. Then I don't know. You probably already know that. Um, their consternation is uglier than a body on a lamppost. A fresh body on a lamppost daily. Uh, George W. Bush said that if the people found out what we've done, they would string us up to a lamppost. And Christiane Amanpour said that if the people get close to the truth, then there would be pussy riots. And you know, Tom, what's his name? Tom Sayer, Stiers, Tom Stiers, orchestrated this bank organized pussy riots. You know, it's just because something was about to come out in the media, they were going to be forced to report on it, because if there is an element of truth about a story, there's a mad rush to report it, to get it out there as the ones who brought this to you. And so they would have been forced to report news. They would have been forced to report the news. So they went to funding, uh, like a radical movement, which was basically just a party. There was just a bunch of people partying. I was there. Like I was like literally like well, I can't say that it was the best way to handle things, but I had some temporary insanity because of that, because I seen what was happening. It was hideous. People irresponsibly just um they walled themselves in from the expression of the circumstances that we find ourselves living under. So that they would be aloof and comfortably aloof, and they got down with the bullshit, and now they actively um, promote and protect these people. It started with um, what's her name? Fuck, War of the Roses chick. Um, you know, like the ones that were saying, they were lionizing Roman Polanski, and mind you, like they're saying that he was courageous. Uh, the motherfucker had got this 13-year-old girl drunk, and she's passing out. She knows she's in danger. She knows she's probably not gonna leave the premises without being penetrated, and she's already drunk, and she's like, I need some water. I need some get some air or something. He's gonna give her some Valium and shit. He's just gonna keep giving her, he's just gonna keep giving her intoxicants. Just you know, like you can imagine you're thirsty and spinning, thirsty and dizzy or something, and you're like, I don't feel great. I need to go. I need to get uh some a cool breeze. I need to catch a cool breeze. And it's like, oh yeah, yeah, about that, and just try to fucking get you loaded, so he can fuck you in the ass. Yeah, that's some real courageous. What's her that bit? Now I gotta remember her name. She, ju- it, it, she was just on the cover of like fucking some huge like big magazine or some shit. Like they put her out there like she's great for doing it. What's the message? What's the message they're trying to send? People talk about, like, oh, exposing the truth. Don't wake nobody up that is trying to fucking kill your spirit. They're trying to rob your spirit. Why would I want to wake you up? I want to get you hip to shit. Like, the problem is that they already, I mean, if they, if you're gonna wake somebody up, look, are you just? Are you loyal? Did you love? Those, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be woke up if it's just a simple thing as that. You know, if it's just a person who's consistent and keeps it 100, like, but he doesn't know something, well, like, then you have to suggest, right, that his news is giving him false information. Then can you find your way to understanding this person probably has their own vibration and their own sense of time and their own, rhythm and rhyme? Then whatever they're interested in that activities, it's another paradigm. Just leave them alone. So yeah, I mean, I'm not stressing on anybody. I had this issue too. You try to talk somebody's fucking ear off, and you think it's important, and they just probably, like, find your balance, you know. So yeah, I was that guy that people probably cross the street trying to avoid because I, always doing the blue, I'm always talking about Matrix Eve shit, deep shit, spiritual. I was just always interested in that. I just refused to have a conversation with anybody if it wasn't like on some, um, you know, some some level of what we got to deal with. I didn't even know what we had to deal with at the time. There was a lot of semantical arguments. There was a lot of fogginess and haziness. Uh, and then, I mean, there's things I could tell you right now that is right or correct, but it's just that you wouldn't be ready to receive it because it's a stream of consciousness. Then, if it's true, then I've effectively lied. You lie effectively when you tell somebody the truth and they're not ready to receive it. And I wonder, like, effectively lying or lying effectively? And the answer is yeah, yeah, sure. Mm, it's kind of a slow night with videos. Like, I've been watching all these videos, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just a still moment, and everything is boring. Everything is trading sideways. Everything is like lulls. There's lulls. You know, there's like, if I got the definition right of what a lull is, I think a lull is like a temporary hiatus, where it's like quiet or silent. Um, and it's because people are trying to knock you off your position. They want to use your position because it's expedient. They they admire your position for the wrong reasons, but they still admire your position. It's for the wrong reasons, dude. It's because they're convenience based modus operandi, um, and they don't know what they do. Like, that's it. Like, it's the humanity, all the humanity. Like, if you don't have some foresight and see what could happen to you, like, before it happens, then you're screwed. And on that vibrational tip, if you don't come along and be the asshole that they want you to be, then some unsuspecting wingnut, somebody who can't handle it, is going to be part of their social experiment, and he's not going to like it. Or she might not like it and come through with the hot grits pouring on your head, pouring hot grits on your head. You don't know where beef is, and nobody really knows where beef is, but some people really excel and make it a point not to know who has beef. and you just have to dispense guilt from a distance. And that's the thing. So I'm gonna take my own advice, but in 5 months I'm gonna take my own advice. I'm not taking my own advice for 5 more months because my I need a ride to work because it's a fucking 11-hour day. The shift is 11 hours. The lunch break is 30 minutes, and it's far away. And I don't have a house where you have laundry, a shower, and all of these things close by. I have to strike out across town to do one thing, to do another thing, to go to the grocery store, laundromat, the gym, get a shower. I'm always rushing. I'm rushing when I'm not at work. On my break, I'm rushing to organize my just to it's fucking crazy. So I mean, either I do this for 5 months. Um, hopefully, I've hedged my investments pretty well, and I'm gonna hopefully something happens. Then I could be socially responsible enough and autonomous not to need for anything from anybody. That's the liberal arts, not what they teach in college. What they teach in college that they're calling the liberal arts has nothing to do with the Kabbalah or the Kalipoth or the natural living man rendered by the land with knowledge of all the medicine, the foods, um, the, the you know, the bushcraft, you know, like I don't really come with any information that nobody already doesn't know. So as far as like um, being banned or shadow banned or my life being in danger or anything because of any truth that I'm telling or anything. It's just when I say what I say and if it's different from the narrative. If it's anything other than the narrative, really. It just you could be talking about I like to lick fly swatters or something like that. But you're supposed to be talking about Orange Man Bad. And sometimes I think Orange Man is controlled a little bit. You can't call him dumb if he's controlled. A lot of people will just, oh, he's such an idiot. He's an idiot that's being controlled, and is trolling you and playing you like a fiddle and fucking triggering you, and even not being interested in triggering you, taking the high ground, not fucking sandbagging people, not fucking railroading people. You know, like I think the reason that they're so fucking mad is because they know it's a process. It's process, but for some reason we're not having. It's not a process right now. It's different now because Trump got elected. It stopped being a process. It was a process all the time until now. Now the process it's shut down. Oh, it's shut down. Well, I mean, you could just fucking not. I mean, look, um, just build a fucking wall. You know, like I don't want to see a continuation of what's been happening to the black community. You know what I mean? And I hear the Mexicans too. I heard the Mexicans. You know, they're what's it called? Incentive to to do certain jobs. They're not offering them the incentive because the illegal immigrants will do it cheaper. And then the illegal immigrants usually a lot of times they get stiffed. They don't get paid. They get offered drugs or something. Or if a company can't pay them, sometimes they kill them and bury them on the other side of the border to make it look like a Sinaloa cartel or somebody did it. I mean, Murphy's Law. So then why would I want to trust a buster just for no reason? Then because uh, he's the representative of polite society and the people of record. Are you sure about that? That's what they say that they are. If that's what they say that they are, then I mean, if imagine uh, somebody who's polite and somebody who keeps good records having to remind people, yo, I'm always polite. And my record keeping is spot on. Like if what I'm saying is knowledge, then you'll make time for it. So I don't gotta impress you with my record keeping, with my what is Michael Eric Dyson said, your predications. Get your predications correct. Well, if I'm fucking using Aretha Franklin's funeral to fucking go on a tirade against Trump and tell all the conservatives that you're not gonna sully our great crean, and he said great crean, he said great crean, like you're not gonna sully our great crean. Um, that's dirty. Like I don't need to have my predications in order because I would never do some shit like that. I would never tell and Don Lemon, I would never tell Kanye that I would never say that Kanye's mother would be rolling over in her grave because he doesn't agree with me because we have a disagreement. Like when he said that shit, he was like, "Well, if I just enrage um this s- swamp running Negro, this this cowhand, if I just fucking say something to trigger this fucking cowhand, um, well, then he'll just uh, demonstrate the very worst of his personalities, and he's on camera. So I'll do that. We'll just do that, and people can see him doing that, but he's not talking to you. If you could see his little fucking prototype zombie fucking tactics and for what they are, he's not talking to you. He's talking to the people that you want to spend your time and energy waking up, and then those people are representing you um, cryptically. They're telling people that you're a good guy, and you're all right, and everything's cool with you, but they never give you the respect in person. A little bit of vampirism, like, and the thing is like that I have a huge issue with that, but then um, it's my mother, you know. So I mean, like, is it gonna be a point of contention whether or not like I love my mother? I know whether or not that's true. I know whether or not that's true. I mean, and my behavior and everything like that. Um, well, you'd have to steal the data. You'd have to become a voyeur. You'd have to be intrusive upon the life of the natural living man. Go in and get my data, and all that shit is off. All that shit isn't a human modus operandi. Like I don't get down like that. I wouldn't spend my damn energy to do that. That's fucking sick. Anyways, like I fucking have like what are you? I'm just wondering. So that's the lull. The lulls is that it's like nobody's saying anything right now because even though all that I said about them going after my position, there's got to be a other side of the coin. What's at stake for them? Do you envy them? You know, with all their money and everything, what's at stake for them? There's nowhere to run to. The rock won't hide you. You know, it's fucking. So I mean, you just gotta. I mean, we just gotta hold out a little bit longer. Don't get sucked into the emotional. duality and emotional confusion that they're just basically that's all they're doing. They're just baiting you up. They just they're putting the kindling and shit. They just like they're putting the fuel and everything. And then the after after the event or whatever that's building up to, they'll have a lot of people that they can actually hold accountable for or take the blood off their hands. Basically, they're transferring blood from their hands to other people's hands because those people will condescend and even lower themselves. Like imagine the Polanski being courageous, and you gotta make sure that he don't um like he's never in a, you have to make sure that he's never in a position to have young interns. Like you can't it can't be like one of those Big Brother programs or none of that shit. Well, so I mean that's not. There's nobody to wake up. They're dead. I mean, if it's taken this long and somebody has to watch this video for me to to give them a heads up. I mean, maybe all the shit you don't. If you don't all know this, then you're stellar. It's no problem. If you know all this shit and you've been um, just making your whole life about putting Trump in prison and stretching his neck because he's a molester, and you know all this shit, then you're dead. You're just a dead a walking shell. Leave a comment if you disagree. I mean, what the fuck? Leave a comment. Troll me. Troll me. Like, you probably at this point in time, it's like I'm not even gonna waste no energy. Like, but anyway, they won't. No, there's no trolls. There's no action on. There's no action on my channel whatsoever. Spookily. Spookily. It's partially my fault because I don't go to computers and other computers like at the library and log into my channel. So not log in, but what's it called? Look up a video and watch my own video. Like, but I mean, I owe that to myself, I think, so that I can complain, so I can come out later and be like, yo, this ain't right. Yo, it isn't right. And another thing. Hey, yo, that's another thing. And another thing. Bye.